Welcome back to the C Word, Community, Not Cancer, which is an intermittent program of people describing their journeys through cancer and how they experience it and how other people may learn from it. And so this is part of Riverside Health. Our guest today is Ms. Jean Bersch, who this is the first time I'm actually getting to meet her. She's actually a patient of my partner, Dr. Johar Hamdan. Has been under his care for a while. So basically, our goal here is for you to just tell your story about your cancer diagnosis and everything you've experienced through this. And I'll preface it to the audience to mention that, according to someone, she should not have been here today. So, Ms. Bersch, now you were diagnosed with cancer about 2017 or so. Can you tell me a little bit about how that happened?
Well, I fell down my daughter's steps and hit the front door. And I messed up my shoulder, so I went for physical therapy twice. Didn't help. So after a year, I thought, okay, I'm going to see an orthopedic doctor. So I went to this orthopedic doctor, and they did a scan. And when I went back to see him, they put me in like a broom closet.
No.
I knew it wasn't an examination room because there was a floor scrubber in there, and there was stuff in there for cleaning, and I'm thinking, something's not right. And then he came in, and he was a young guy, and I don't think he ever had to tell anybody they had cancer. He was shaken, and I seen he was real nervous, and I said, it's okay. And he says, well, you do have a messed up shoulder, but he said, when we seen the scan, we seen something else. And I said, it's okay, whatever you tell me, it's going to be fine. And he says, well, pretty sure it's cancer. He was just shaking. And I said, it's okay. And I said, I'm going to be fine no matter what. I said, I believe in God. I believe in all that stuff. So I said, I'm not worried. I'm not scared, and I'm fine.
So let me ask you, after you left his office, what was going through your mind?
I thought, oh, well, you got to deal with it, whatever it is.
Okay. So describe to me what happened a little bit after that in terms of how they finally established your diagnosis and kind of what you're experiencing. You don't have to go into details about the procedure, but just how you're experiencing it all.
Well, first thing, they set me up with an appointment with the oncologist, the lung doctor, and the surgeon the same day. They were 2 hours apart. So I have this very intelligent daughter, and she came down here, and she went with me to all the appointments. And Dr. Hamdan was the first appointment we had. She had 2 pages of questions for each doctor. And so she's like shooting them off and everything. And he goes, I've never had anybody do this before. I said, well, she does research for a living. So this is what she does. So finally, after 20 minutes, he goes, what the heck do you do? And I said, she's FBI. So he said, okay. And then he must have called the other doctors and warned them, oh, get ready for her daughter. Because it was kind of funny when we walked into the other appointments, they were already looking at her.
Got it. So you met all the doctors, and then obviously they started the testing process to figure out what you had.
They put in a port.
So first of all, having the daughter there was obviously very helpful for you. And how did that help you kind of deal with all the information coming to you? What did it feel like? Because you've seen 3 doctors
In one
every
day.
couple hours, yeah.
But she had all the questions that we needed that some doctor would have asked, I think. And she knows all the vocabulary.
But were you taking it all in yourself? Some people have, when their kids ask their questions, I've noticed that the patients tune out a little bit.
I did tune out a little bit because I had her, I think she was 3, 2.5 maybe. She was sitting on my lap while her mom was doing her thing, so. And of course, she's a little smarty too. And she looks at Dr. Hamdan, you know, those things they have in the office, and she's kind of looking at that thing changing, and she goes, that's the human body. And he goes, yes, it is. Do you know how many bones? She's only 2.5. And she goes, what is there, 206 or something?
I don't know.
She knew. He goes, why am I not surprised? This is your daughter, he said to my daughter.
Right. So when you got home after that day, what was your experience like?
Well, I wasn't looking forward to chemo. I've heard a lot of nasty stuff about it. And it's all true. I didn't cry when they told me I had cancer, but I cried when I lost my hair. That was harder. Kind of wonder what's under that bald. When you're bald, you kind of think, do I have bumps up there or anything, But get through it.
What did you find was the best way to get support as you went through it, as you were having this chemotherapy that you found horrible?
I'm an extremely lucky person. I have a million friends, and they were all there. I mean, they were just everywhere. And I had a lot of friends going through cancer, so I was real lucky.
So again, you had a community around you, right?
Maybe 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good.
I know. People are wonderful.
What was the hardest part about going through the chemotherapy besides losing your hair? Was there anything specific that
The surgery was the
the
hardest.
surgery was the hardest? Tell me a little bit about that.
I had that done up at Rush, and they said 5 days I'd be up there. I was up there a little over 2 weeks. But that was still pretty good. They took out part of the lung and 4 ribs and 17 lymph nodes. That was a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah.
That lung kept collapsing. My oldest daughter was up there with me, and I didn't know she was even in the room because it's a teaching hospital. So there was always a bunch of students in there, and I told him, no more, I'm not doing that. I don't care. He said, well, you're going to die if you don't let us do it. And I said, I don't care. I'm not scared. And my daughter runs over there, Mom, I'm not ready. So I thought, oh, man, I'm so sorry.
So you recover from surgery, and then what do you do after that?
Well, after the surgery, because I had radiation and chemo before, I didn't have to do anything for a while.
And how did that feel to be finally done with it all?
Well, you think you're done.
Well, yeah. At
It
that
felt
point in
good,
time. At that
yeah.
point in time.
2 years, it felt pretty good. I was done for 2 years.
So then, obviously, you kind of hinted at it 2 years later.
Yeah, it's back, so.
Something came back, right? What would that experience like for you?
Well, I didn't have to do the bad chemo. I did the immunotherapy, which is so much better on you. And, I still have my Dr. Hamden. And then, really, I'm here because of him. Because he knew this doctor in Chicago, a lung doctor. And when that other doctor here said I was going to die, he called my daughter and said, I know this man, and I think you need to make an appointment. I think he can fix her.
Somebody said you were about to die.
He gave me 3 days.
What were you experiencing when that happened?
They just called hospice, and I was home, and they were giving me drugs. And then my friends started coming, and my daughters and my son was there, and after 3 days, they said, Mom, there's been over 100 people in this house. We can't take anymore. I live in a little ranch house. Then Mandy talked to Dr. Hand and made the appointment. My girlfriend took me up there, and he fixed it.
So for a few days or a few weeks, you were in hospice.
Yeah, well, he kicked me out.
Well, because you wanted to get treatment. But I guess what was the mindset that you were at or your family were at that point when you were in hospice?
It was hard on him. I didn't really realize because I was on drugs and I was in and out, but I realized it was hard on him. So you don't want to do that to your family, but I just wanted him to know I wasn't scared and there's a better place to go to. I wasn't scared. I know quite a few people already there, so.
Thing is, when that time comes. So to our audience, Ms. Bersch mentioned Dr. Hamden, after getting the procedure done in Chicago, she underwent immunotherapy. So just for the education of our audience, immunotherapy is a newer form of treatment that we've been using, which still involves getting treatments through the veins, but does not have the profile of side effects that traditional chemotherapy has. And it has changed a lot of how we treat people and, to be honest, how much we can expect to get improvement. As Ms. Bersch mentioned, someone when the cancer first came back mentioned she only had 3 days. And as a group of us, as doctors, generally as oncologists, we tend to be a little bit more optimistic when we have the knowledge of what we have available to us. So in this situation, just briefly to mention, Ms. Bersch went through this immunotherapy starting in 2020 or so and did that for about 3 years. and has now been off of treatment for a little over a year.
I'm back on treatment.
Oh, yeah, no, I apologize. I thought you were off, but it's still very tolerable, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, so she was off for several years and remained cancer-free and had lots of testing done to keep an eye on her. And obviously with that, we were hopefully finding that this cancer, when it comes back at a point where we can still take care of you.
Yeah, it's just a little spot in the lymph node underneath this arm. Yeah.
And how are you feeling right now?
Fine.
What advice would you have for patients when they first find out about cancer?
Well, don't think it's a death sentence. It's not necessarily, and it gets better, I think. Every day they learn something new. My daughter sends me all this stuff that's new, and when I ask Dr. Hampton about it, it goes, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, Amanda, right?" Yeah.
It's good to have someone on your side, being your team and doing that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not everybody can have that, but it's good when you do.
Oh, yeah. I'm really blessed, yeah.
Besides family, what else keeps you going in this journey?
Well, my friends. I got a lot of friends, and they are great. They're like family now. You know, you work with somebody for 40 years. They just become your family. So I got 4 sisters that are really my sisters, but I feel like I got at least 50 more, you know.
That's terrific. That is a treasure.
It
And
is
a
a
great
treasure.
resource.
It is. Like tomorrow, I meet my high school girls. And, you know, I've been out of school for 52 years. So.
Congratulations. Any other advice you have for people who are going through cancer?
You don't have to be alone. Open yourself up. Let people in. They're the best medicine.
That's really good advice. Cancer is a scary word, so it's nice to have people you can turn to. It's nice to have that community behind your back. Some people who are going to do the research for you, some people who are just going to be there for you.
Well, a lot of my friends go to different churches, and I found out I was on prayer list for like 3 or 4 churches. I know, because I'd run into somebody at the store, and they'd say, "What's going on with you? I seen you on our prayer list." I said, "Where's this one at?" You know. I said, "Well, it must have helped, because here I am. You're not getting rid of me."
That's a wonderful story. Again, when things are hard, look to advice from your family, your friends, and to your doctor, somebody who's looking out for you and not ready to give up on you. I think that's a wonderful thing to have with Dr. Hampton.
Oh, yeah, he's wonderful.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say at all? Just what you want us to talk about?
I've met a lot of people here. Haven't been coming here for several years. They're all great people. You know, all the nurses, they're all great, nice people. All the ladies up front. So.
We're glad it's been a good place for you to be. So,
Yeah, it is.
And hopefully you'll be here for a long time.
I hope I don't.
Touché. Very well. Thank you so much, Ms. Bersch. Again, this has been the C word, community, not cancer. And as Ms. Bersch has so eloquently said, community is everything.